unmute and talk. Jaisi, would you like to start now? Start.
Ma'am?
It's okay, you start now, it's time. We are online.
Welcome everyone who are present here. I would like to introduce Mr. Cecil Sundar, sir. Mr. Cecil Sundar is a National Director at Microsoft leading artificial intelligence and machine learning programs. Mr. Cecil Sundar is a former Indian Air Force officer, served for the country in Kargil and Ops Parakam operations. He lives in Denver, Colorado with his wife Victoria, who was also a former Indian Air Force officer, and 2 sons. Professionally, Cecil holds engineering degree from AC Tech Karekudi, Masters in Aeronautical Engineering from Air Force Technical College, and MBA from the prestigious Leeds School of Business in USA. Mr. Sundar has passion and commitment in socio-economic development of rural women and underprivileged children, and looking forward to contributing for greater good of the society.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
and
sir.
Kirpa, can you please
Yes,
say
sir.
in 1 or 2 words, please? Yeah,
Yes, sir.
go ahead.
So a warm good morning to all present here. Just now, Joyce has introduced Cecil, sir. Thank you, Joyce. Actually, we are successfully moving into the second session of conversations. Today, we have 2 adorable people to speak on the topic immigration, studies, and opportunities in North America. So I warmly welcome Odivanan sir and Cecil sir to
Thank you, Kirpa, and indeed, it's a pleasure to meet you on a Sunday morning from our side and Saturday evening at your side. I know this is a time for you to enjoy your weekend with your drinks and movies, but I'm sorry, I think I have spoiled sport for that. But nevertheless, I have to admit that this program, what we are doing month after month, this is not second, this is the third one, is getting popular, and people started asking actually, when is it going to happen next? What would be the topic? That's the kind of popularity that this program is receiving. So I wanted to congratulate my brother Cecil, and you have to somehow, with all your schedules, have to keep time for this also. Let me first start with some kind of disappointment that I had in my early 20s, which I probably have not shared with you. Actually, though, I was to inherit my father's business after his demise, all that. But my also, like many youngsters of that time, late 80s and early 90s, I too wanted to pursue my higher studies in the United States of America at that time. I, in fact, tried also, to be very frank with you. Only few in the family know about it. I quietly tried, but in those days it was, it's very difficult actually. It's very expensive also. You have to physically mail to them and all that. But at some point of time, I have to give it up for very many reasons. That always there, that the dream to go to United States, not with other countries, but always America is considered to be a land of opportunities for many people. So Manoj, tell me, is that still continues with this present generation also?
First answer is absolutely yes. There's no other. I live here. I've traveled. I moved from India to US at the age of 31. I came for my master's. So if you actually go back and see, take a step back and see how my journey was, it probably might defy the notion that you have to come at certain age. And the first answer I will tell is, this is one country where the dollar holds the world's currency, right? There's no other currency in the world that holds value, right? Everything is based on US dollar, including oil, foreign exchange, everything. American dream is still very valid. Not only valid, that is the only thing people look forward to. Those that are educated, or they are looking for exponential growth, not just growth, right? growth can be achieved anywhere. But if you're thinking about realizing your potential or realizing your dream, and this is a land of opportunity because it is built by immigrants, right? See, the thing is, we are talking about the US, North American solo, primarily Canada as well as US, right? Those are the two countries we call as North America. But foundationally, what we all have to understand is this is the country this is built by immigrants. It's shaped up by immigrants. Innovation is it's done by immigrants. All the products are rolled out by immigrants. But again, this American dream is very valid, especially in this digital economy where it's a global economy, innovation economy. My first choice will be North America, especially USA. I'm not telling Europe is not better, Germany is not better, UK is not better, but I'm being slightly biased because I have seen the world, right? So that's does that answer the question now?
Absolutely, yes. That opens a door for me also, if I'm allowed to.
Can I explain a little bit more?
Yeah.
Just in the perspective, right? In the 80s and 90s, we used to call this as a brain drain. Brain drain. We used to tag something from India as a brain drain, where all IITians used to just study with taxpayers' money, and then immediately they all come here. Most of the CEOs, if you have seen, whether it's Sun Microsystems or Aravind Krishnan, IBM, most of them came during those times. They made it really big. So what happened? So if you think about the timeline, 80s, 90s, brain drain, the top talent in India, 80-90% of the top talents immigrated to US because there is a scholarship available. Ningala miss panniti. Not because you didn't go to IIT, but there is an opportunity. People genuinely we are not aware, right? Genuinely we are not aware. Adu vandu certain institution people were very much aware and they wrote the GRE, they got the scholarship, they came. Apro Y2K was 2000. So 96 onwards, Indian IT industry started booming. Y2K opened the floodgate for everybody who was talented in coding. So those people all migrated to US in the name of outsourcing, offshoring, and everything. So brain drain, highly skilled, highly educated, targeted institutions came on a scholarship. Y2K bought employment migration, studies migration, brain drain, and then they have their different career path. Y2K bought employment opportunities for a lot of Indians, and a lot of reverse migration happened. People established companies in India, and they made a lot of money. But primarily, their customers are North America only. Most of the revenue, you take any Indian company, the revenue would come from North America. Adukapura ennache, when people started becoming aware of all these things, people from rural areas, like people like me from Karaikudi or from Tirunelveli, those children who are aware, they started dreaming and aiming for it. And then there is a steady state of migration that continued to happen over last 30, 40 years from different areas. As of now, when we are talking, I don't know how many people are aware, 2 lakh students, Indian students, 2 lakh Indian students are coming for higher studies every year. One. Second, the other important statistics we have to take away is average Indian salary. Indian average salary in the US is $120,000 compared to $60,000 the Caucasian race would get, or $70,000 they will get. So it's double. The highest paid group in US is Indians. So those two things we have to be aware. And
if you don't mind, can you calculate that and tell me per month what would be the salary?
80 rupees 80 rupees 1 crore. An average salary for an Indian migrating to US. So it's an average salary for Indians, right? 1 crore is an average. So many people, we are much ahead of that, above and ahead. So that's a different story. Compared to what you will get, to what you can earn here, because you are taking the risk and moving here, your ROI, your return on investment, will be exponential multiple times, right? So that is also some factor we need to talk about.
Can I ask something here at this point of time? Because first, let me say that US is not fortunate enough to use my brain in the 90s. That's
There are
what I
so
was
many brains left behind.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Now my question is, now people say normal talk is, it's not like before. Nowadays, it's very, very difficult. Getting admission is difficult. It's very expensive. After you finish your course, you have to go back to your country. All that people say, because that is disappointment, because the middle class people have to shell out a lot of money. So 30 to 40 lakhs for a 2-year program and send their children to United States of America. And if they're not going to be there forever, then this money is going into drains, right? So is that the trend, or what is the trend like now?
Okay, very important question. And I think this is also a misconception, notion that people are coming back. You have to tell me from your circle who has come back. From my circle, nobody has gone back. Number one, you talked about 30, 40 lakhs as investment. Maybe let's call it as 50 lakhs investment. So when you are a student, if you're coming as a student, you have the banks immediately, without collateral. For some institutions, most of the institutions, without collateral, they give you the loan. So it's not just engineering, right? Engineering mattum illa, biotech varuvanga, people come for other disciplines, PhD they come. The different types. The problem we have here is awareness. But 50 lakhs is what? $60,000, right? Highest range, 50 lakhs loan edukarom. So 50 lakhs people are taking and coming. That is $60,000 US. Your average salary on graduation, on a good degree, will be 90,000. It's the break even is 2-3 years. Even if you take half of the salary and spend it on yourself, you should be able to break even in maximum 4-5 years. All of that. So it is not from the expense perspective. If you think about the return you're getting, you think about the life and career path, that's not there should not be a challenge at all. The problem is people are not aware, right? And I have not seen anybody going back. People will invariably find out a way to live and navigate the immigration system, do PhDs, find some opportunities, and over a period of time, they'll get the sponsorship. The people who actually go back are the people who come for employment.
I agree with you. Yeah. No, my question is, yes, ultimately, is the easiest route to go to United States is not as an immigrant. They have to go through the universities there. But people say that, I mean, I don't have any status. As you rightly asked me, can you say somebody who has come back? I can't tell you who has come back. I don't know. But whatever we hear, people say that those things are all gone now. They themselves are unemployed. They don't find difficult. Donald Trump has come and changed everything. That's how people say that, it's straight away disappointing, discouraging people that there is no place for you. These are all most of the talk given by people like you, the Indians who are in the US.
Correct. No. So let's dissect. By the way, I'm not a legal guy. Anything that's told here, it's not a legal opinion, right? It's not immigration law. I'm not an immigration attorney. But practically, I know what is happening. So I can explain what exactly is happening, right? So easiest way is to come through a company. Easiest way. You don't have to put a dime, meaning you don't have to spend $1. Infosys, Accenture, Cognizant, they will send their youngsters, developers to US on H1 visa, work visa, if they get it. So what will happen is, what had happened during Trump era is they had this validation. They had a very strict immigration rules in which if you are working for boutique consulting company, are you truly adding value, or you are kind of cost arbitrage Mari, or you paid less compared to US workers. So they started putting some putting some guardrails. So when they start putting some guardrails, they didn't renew those visa, work visa. So think about this when two different things we are talking about. Those students who are coming here, they like me who do masters, they will scale the ladder up. The career path will be really, really good. Those who are coming through employment route with zero investment, it's not good or bad, right? Through the company, they come. So at the end of the day, company is getting a project here. On the project, they are giving an outsourced people on site. So when they come here, what will happen is, if their visa needs to be renewed, their work visa has to be renewed, at that point, what they will tell is, are there enough opportunities for the skill? Core developers, some developers, Java, C++, it doesn't go. So if there is no opportunity or no contract, they are on expiry of the visa, they will go back. Those are the people who will have challenges in coming back because they have to renew their H1B, right? Most of the H1Bs are coming back, and there are some people who go and come back because of consulting reason. Those are not in scope of our conversation, right? Because you come through company, and then you go back, you fight for your visa, or you renew your visa and come back. But what we are talking about is, if you think about studies, immigration and opportunities, it's a clear path they have and clear progression they have.
Yeah, I got your point, but the problem is, see, when you talk, I become more optimistic. But generally, people they don't share any information. Even people who are very close to us, who's working in IT companies, when they ask them about it, they say no longer we send people there. Nowadays, everything is offshore. People sit here and work. Even we don't have to have offices here in Chennai. They sit from home and work. That's how we cost reduction now. So where is the question of people going to office through employment? That kind of negativity is always there. Do you have any statistics to substantiate that? Still people are coming there for work. Also, people are coming. Of course, you already have mentioned about students coming there for their higher studies. We'll come back to that, because today the discussion is going to focus on that. Before you answer to this, a small piece of information. This Zoom can only take up to 100. So we are closely inching towards that 100. There is a risk if somebody goes out accidentally want of network connection, they may find it difficult to get back when the Zoom is full. So I have given you a YouTube link in the chat box. I'll give you again when Manoj is answering. Keep that YouTube link in case you are not able to get into Zoom. You can watch through YouTube. Yes, Manoj, please do answer.
This is it's not a challenging question for me. The reality is skewed there. The problem is, today there are 60,000 H1B visas are there. How many people apply for it? To answer your question, do people still come? 60,000 every year, 60 to 65,000 visas are there, H1B for work. Not worrying about student. These are called non-immigrant visa, right? The amount of petition comes from the Indian companies. Total petition for the 60,000, think about it, 300,000. 5 times oversubscribed. அப்புறம் எப்படி சொல்றாங்க that we don't send people? We don't get visa. See, you file for 300,000 people, right? You have 60,000 is government approved visa. Who's filing all these things? Most of them are majority Indian companies. Problem is the demand is, the authorization is 60,000. We file 300,000. It goes into lottery. Whoever gets into lottery, master's candidate gets a privilege. Adala 60,000, 20,000 is earmarked for master's candidate. So they get priority in the lottery. And those master's candidates who doesn't get picked up in the 20,000 gets into the 40,000 pool. Specifically, Indian companies are the companies that we file majority of the application. So that is, but clearly I will tell you, this is a very, very coveted high demand visa for free visa for Indian companies, right? And not only Indian companies, worldwide. But most of the beneficiaries are from India or China. Those are the companies that are applying for it, and they get only certain type of people. Second point you made is we don't send it. It's not that right? You should be asked to come, then only you can take a choice whether I have to go or not go. So if I don't get it, the option is I have to stay back. That is the natural thing. But what I'm suggesting is H1B is one route where people file for employment visa. F1 is a different type of visa. They also have to get a H1 visa later on. That is why master cap is there. So every company, not only India, Singapore, Canada, not Canada, but China, Europe, anyone who wants to send their worker have to go through this route. So huge demand, 5 times more demand every year than the authorized. The authorization, let's say, is from 60,000. From 60,000, if they make it as 600,000, I'm sure we will file 3 million visas.
Correct.
Okay, so let's be very clear. This country is the most coveted place for people to work and make money. And I'll make this statement. Most of our CEOs here, if they have stayed back in India, the career path would have been very different, right? Most of the, like starting with Sundar Pichai or anybody who's a CEO of big companies, right? If this opportunity is not there, the opportunity back in India for the talent pool, nothing wrong in that. We are still developing, right? We're still progressing, developing. We have to recognize the talent pool. We have to create this many opportunities. We have to pay them at par with the world companies. It will take time for us, but that is why people run here. Whoever is aware. My dream is, it's not Oli and team we are talking here. This has to go to the rural people actually, and see, and they have to understand it's not a rocket science. You have to go through the process. Once you get into this, then your life will change. You can change the life of next generation itself. Those are the things we should be thinking about.
Thank you. Now, the very important question, because this is on which many of them have joined to know from you. What about students who are coming there? Traditionally, they say that if you're an IT graduate, it's easy to jump into US. If you're not IT, or say something else, politics or chemistry, physics, please stay away. So that's why today, even today, if you see in engineering colleges, there is a lot of craze for computer science and IT-related courses. Do tell me what exactly is the requirement of all the universities there for post-graduation courses from countries like India. So the still IT is the only course that's popular, or other courses also can be done. What are their prospects? Eventually, after completing my post-graduation, I should have something there to work. It's not just I pursue my degree, come back here. So you do let me know, expand on that. What are the prospects? What are the courses people can look at US?
IT in the concept in Gillana. Okay, let me put it in clear. Let me provide the clarity. IT is நம்ம ஐடின்னு சொல்றோம். இங்க வந்து it's a engineering degrees, right? Core engineering. For to be an IT programmer, you don't need a degree here. I'm repeating probably multiple times. If you have to be a IT developer, Python, Java, C++, and you want to come and work here, in US, there is no need for you to be an engineering graduate. Let's be very clear, right? So that is what we call as IT as engineering. Engineering people are called IT. Generally, we generalize the term. But those people who are coming here for masters, there's core engineering people, electrical engineering, masters in electrical engineering, masters in computer science, masters in undergrad also people come, but it's hugely expensive, right? Masters in telecommunication. They are engineering background, engineering masters, and go. But there is also analytics and technical masters where you don't need to be an engineering graduate. That is why some of my cousins were like nephews and nieces, they were doing. They are not core engineers. All you need is 4-year degree. If you have 4-year degree or 3+2, you can still apply for masters in analytics, masters in computer science. They don't validate you whether you have an engineering, then only you can apply. But those are called STEM degrees: science, technology, education, mathematics degrees, right? So those degrees can be achieved by, or can be awarded to non-engineering background people in certain areas, right? We can, most of these people can business analytics, all these things, they can come and do that masters. The second area is, if you are biotech, chemist, there is a pharmaceutical industry that is growing at scale. You can also come for biotech, masters in biotech, masters in pharmacy, every other area you can come. And those scientists, research scientists with PhD, they also have a lot of options, right? And for a finance, non-engineering degree folks, you can write your GMAT and go for MBA. IIM, you can go for MBA in the top institutions, right? So those are multiple different opportunities that people have to be aware of. Non-IT, economics, finance can go for MBA. Biotech, BSc chemistry, BSc biology, BSc biotech can go for, after they finish their masters, they can go for MS in biotech or PhD in biotech, right? That's also possible. MS analytics can be done by anybody with 3+ a 4-year degree, even 3+2, 3+2-year degree also. And then core engineering can go for masters in electrical, electronics, and all those things. You have opportunities across the board.
What about people with arts and humanities, political science, economics, such subjects?
You can. There are a lot of professors in Harvard, and not just like big universities. They come through fellowship, JRF, and all those things. So you just have to be aware which J1 visa research scholars can come, right? There's a lot of student exchange visas there. They can come, and from there they can anchor here, continue the research, and either become an adjunct professor or become a tenured professor and all those things. That's another path they can talk about. It's just that we don't research. There's enough scope to come here, irrespective of the discipline, and because the idea we have is only because of the companies, Infosys, Wipro, Accenture, we only think about IT. That's not it. That's not how this country operates.
Now tell me, there are 50 states in the United States of America. I still remember when I was searching for colleges, universities at that time, there was a lot of confusion. They said you look out for something which has similar climate to Chennai, all that. In those days, we were only looking out for places like Carolina, such places, so that or Dallas, so that it will match the temperature of Chennai. Nowadays, it's gone too far with the power of internet and other things. As a student, suppose I wanted to pursue my master's degree, how should I look out for universities? What are the criteria? One, of course, scholarship, which is a different ball game. Other than scholarship, how would I look out for courses? Who is there to help me, or I should do all by myself, searching in the internet?
So the best way is to network. One day, if you are already a professional and you're thinking about migrating, there are multiple paths. Either you migrate through the work. The other way is to go for studies. Then the second option I would think is alumni, right? Somebody would be there, your senior. For students, I'm telling. For us, people like me are there who can guide. That's a different thing. For students, alumni network is an important thing. They should tap into it and find mentors that are already there and ask them guidance, right? That's the best way to move forward. The last but least option is people like me who didn't ask for help but researched myself. I researched on my brother was there. He helped me out in terms of which are the universities that I can apply, top universities. But then you have to do your own research. After graduation, what is the placement percentage? So if it is 50% placement within a year, 70%, 90% placement, so you can do that. But the foundational criteria is, what is my score? Earlier, we used to think about GRE, GMAT, TOEFL. These are the things that you have to work towards to get a very good score, good recommendation from your, whether institutions or the place you work with or the internship you're doing, recommendation, your score, and then researching, working with, number 4, working with your alumni or networking. This all will help them through. Awareness is the key. Intention is one. Number 1 is, do I have the intent to be better in my life? Can I realize my potential if I'm sitting there in Trichy or Chennai or Bangalore? Is it fine? Are there opportunities, enough opportunities for me to grow? The answer is no. Move on. The world is such a large opportunity. It's such a wonderful place to be in, especially in North America. Move on and make a better life for you and the family.
Thank you so much. And at this point of time, I wanted to thank the coordinators of Chennai Book Club because one, they have spared this place today and also given the slot. So thank you so much, Kirba and Joyce. Would you like to ask any questions to Manoj as coordinators of Chennai Book Club or the topic that we've discussed? Otherwise, we move on to the questions. You can unmute yourself and ask Kirba and Joyce.
Yes, I have a question. Suppose
your child can go to US, no problem.
Yeah. Prepare panni, just
say hi to
no.
Gracias, son, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I have a question. Suppose I'm coming there on a H-1B visa, and my husband also wishes to work over there. So what is the probability for that? So because I was told that if you are going on a dependent visa, you're not allowed to work there. So I think so to shift as a family, it's a huge hindrance, right? This is what I wanted to get it clarified from you.
Yeah, so they have certain strict covenants, I would call guidance. All right, if you are coming for, your H-1B is authorized for you, right? You can only work. If you come on L1A is a managed or special, right? So then they get a L1 EAD. Most of the people from India, when they come, they try, if they're aware of L1 versus H1, they will go to L1A, an option, and there is a scrutiny. Earlier, we did a wonderful job of exploiting it and then they have started scrutinizing more, right?
Okay.
So that's okay. But what I'm telling is, if you have a team, you're a manager, director, or if you have a specialty occupation, you can apply L1A. L1A, the spouse can work. Immediately you get a EAD, employment authorization. But in H1, in your case, again, I'm not right, but I can tell whatever I have experienced, what I know, and fairly it will be accurate, right? So what you can do is H1 you have H4 EAD note.
H4 EAD, okay. So to be more specific, actually, my brother is H1B holder and he's there in US. His wife has completed a physiotherapy course. So I thought if there is any opportunity to work as a physiotherapist,
they might be. They have relaxed their H4 EAD. Okay. What they used to do, like if they are in the process of immigrant, so H1 is a non-immigrant visa.
Okay.
Understand the difference, right?
Yes, sir.
H1
yes, sir.
Green card, employment-based green card is an immigrant visa.
Okay.
So as the company applies for your brother to migrate move from non-immigrant to immigrant visa, employment-based green card, they do go through a process called I-140 filing.
Okay.
Because there's some called perm process, I-140, I-485. Once they do I-140, it might, by the time you land and they process, it might take 2 to 3 years. By the time they file it, the spouse can get a EAD.
Okay, sir.
But then you have to come on employment visa, you have to file the card.
Okay.
Or the easiest option is if you are smart enough to influence the company, you can come on L1 visa as a manager.
Yes, sir. I have one more query. Actually, I am.
No, we'll go more on to the next person. Others are waiting.
Yes, sir.
We have only 20 minutes more. So you come back if we have time. Joyce,
Yes,
you want to ask any question?
You can contact me directly, ma. You can just my contact.
Sir, you can move on to others, sir.
Yeah. So now first is Dr. Paramasivam. Please go ahead, unmute yourself and ask questions.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, actually, America it's built by no immigrant only, you have said, no, sir. Actually, in India, the condition is that no human development index out of 191 countries, India stands for 132. In human capital index, India stands for 116 out of 180 countries. But what is the reason all the talented people immigrant to America? If we want to build as a developed country like as India, what should be the action? My question is that. Second one, you have said that every year 2 lakh students is visiting to the America for the higher studies. But what your opinion about the Indian education system? Are you thinking that there is no quality in Indian education? If there is no quality in education, what should be the action to be taken, sir?
It's a very complex question, right? Very, very complex question. But I'll try to be politically correct, Dr. Paramasivam, right? Yes. So first you asked about what should be changed, right?
Yes.
Why the human development index and everything, why we are in back, and how can we be at par with development?
No, his question was why a lot of talents go to US only.
Correct. But that's the point he is making is what can we do to bring at par the Indian system, right? And then the education system is a follow-up to that. What I would tell is that what should we do to change? It's from starting with governance, education system, overhauling the education system, and then if you think about the number of patents that has been being approved, it's US followed by China, and we don't know where we are. So, Dr. Paramasivam, if you think about what we need to overhaul, there are so many things we probably can overhaul, including, here it is very difficult to be a professor. I'm telling you, it's very, very, very difficult to be a professor because you got to be peer reviewed. You need to be presenting papers. Peer review is the most challenging thing in any industry, right? Any education system, because the research paper has to be continuously published and peer reviewed, and you have, unless you are published and peer reviewed and authenticated, you don't get a tenure in the university, right? So there is also public-private partnership. A lot of funding comes from private institutions to the public universities, right? Those things are very different in India. And we have clusters like IITs that do a phenomenal job, but that doesn't match the need we have across the board, right? So foundational systems can be changed. We are in a path. I would think why we are coming here and shining, because the same talent pool, probably I would think the better talent pool are still back in India and held back in India. Some of them who are aware, they come here and really do well because of the opportunities here, because of the recognition and the growth. That is the reason why people come here, right? Students also, the 2 lakh students I'm talking about, right? Why they wouldn't stay back? Because after graduation, அவங்களுக்கு என்ன opportunity வச்சிருக்கீங்க, right? What is the employment opportunity you have for skilled people, and what is the pay parity you have for those people? compared to US. So what is the alternate? If they get an opportunity to come here, they come here and they flourish, right? So I'm not, you asked a specific question, is our education system not valid? I wouldn't tell like that. It's just that the application of education, how many engineers are employable or survey earlier. The notion was, the estimate was somewhere between 70 to 80% of the people were not employable after graduation. That is very hard, right? So how do we bring those things? So more application of knowledge and more industry partnership, more internship to the students, and then the employment opportunity has to be driven by both public and private sectors, and the sector itself has to grow, just not IT sector, right? Manufacturing has to grow, biotech has to grow, pharma has to grow. They have to grow based on the supply we have, not based on their own growth they are seeing, right? So those are the factors we should think about.
We move on to the next question. Chandrakumar Ulaganathan, please unmute yourself and ask question, please.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Professor Chandrakumar. I work for the Department of English at Pachapaz College, sir. See, I have a different question. I'm just a bit worried about the students who graduated at the universities in the USA and are still jobless. I feel the reason is that when the students prepared for the visa application or when they prepared for migration, sometimes I feel they did not have the cognizance of the I would say the bona fide status of different universities offering different courses in the US. There is a lot of difference between community colleges and accredited universities. And the accreditation process is something that the students must know broadly before they prepare for their migration to the USA. And some of the students, when they apply for a US visa, and just have the they have the end to only to achieve the dream, but they are completely oblivious of the tricky process that it involves. So certainly they should know something about the accreditation process and the difference between universities and community colleges. And it is also important for them to understand the validity of the courses offered by the universities there, especially the highly specialized knowledge offered by American universities are sometimes understood to be less meritorious and yes, of course, are not really up to the mark. Sometimes no, if we compare the same thing in the context of India also. So what is your advice for that?
That's a very valid point what you're making. So if you are not choosing, if you're just coming for coming sake, right? Let's say you had a GRE score. I'm quoting an example like 500. There are still universities that will accept you. You will still spend money, but after that you may or may not get the right placement. But to give you the comfort, Chandra, what normally happens is there are enough companies, consulting companies, they take the students who are not ready, or probably they are not even not graduating from the top institutions, medium level institutions also. They take them and they train them. So the important thing, the important favor they have, or the advantage they have, all these students, as long as they graduate in STEM degree, and most of them are graduating STEM degree, they'll have 3 years of work visa. So நீங்க சொல்ற மாதிரி ஒர்க் இல்லைன்னு கிடையாது. There is a lot of demand for technical jobs. So if you go and research today, there are at least 10 million jobs in US alone, close to 10 million, right? I don't know how we translate 10 million. 1 million is 10 lakh job. We don't know how many are tech and how many are non-tech. But think about this way. They have 3-year work authorization. And the way you want to think about it, Chandra, is I asked Uliana also the same thing. Tell me somebody who has come back. In your perspective, they can be like floating around for 1 or 2 months, but eventually they'll figure it out. if you know 10 people who have gone to US on any type of visa, student visa, you will hardly find 1 or 2 coming back, hardly. And if that means 90% of the people still retain here, and they will have opportunity, because number one, there is a STEM education. Number two, there is a 3-year work authorization. Number three, there is a demand. So if that comforts you, I think that's the message I want to give. Right? We can keep talking, oh, people are not getting the job. I don't see it. Most of the people get it. But it takes time, because the path they chose was easiest path, rather than getting into better institutions at the start.
That was a good question from Professor Chandra, because in fact, I wanted to ask you that question as well, but he asked, Chandra is a proud author of Emerald Publishers. He has published an excellent book for people who are preparing for competitive examinations in English. Thank you, Chandra, for that.
I'll challenge you both, Chandra and Oli and Rendu Perum. Find 10 people who have gone to US and find me one person who has come back the last 20 years.
Okay. I'll do that.
Yes.
And once I find it, I'll demand. Once I find it, I'll demand a single mark from you when you come next time.
Through masters, but that should give us an awareness, right? 95% of the people are staying back over multiple years. There's no questions. Some people come back for family needs. That's a different thing, right? But that's a challenge you guys want to take. Yeah.
Now we have Professor Jason. Welcome, sir. Unmute and please talk. So can you raise your hand again, Professor Jason? I think I lost you somewhere. Professor Jason, please unmute and ask.
Yeah, good morning, sir. First of all, once again, an appreciation to the organizers of such an event, because there are a lot of apprehensions all of us have, and when we have a session on such an event, it's really good. Most importantly, there's this wonderful cultural diversity which our students will learn than being just within our places. Now, my question here is just 3 things. You can group it in one answer. One is students with sports accolades, will they get some opportunities, a little sort of space to study? And second is, how are the medical college chances to do a medical learning in US? And third, are there specific support from the US consulate, like, for example, Education Expos, where they give a lot of, they open up to the public, so we also can find what suits us. So these are the 3 questions. Medical college, sports opportunities. If a child has a good memorabilia in sports, can they try it in US? And the third, does the US consulate support such initiatives?
Third one, what type of initiatives? What are you asking?
For example, if US consulate has some educational expo where universities come down and they share what are the scholarships available there. So is there some provision like that which happens, which could help our students?
Oh, okay. Well, I'll start from the first is, the answer is no, right? There is no specific education like sports quota. The thing is, if you are an extraordinary exception, they have something called EB1.
Okay,
EB1 category. Yes, it's an immigrant category. Okay. So let's say you won Olympics, you are a national athlete, and you have published paper that are kind of international, IEEE or internationally published in any field. In any field, Jason. That's something it's underexploited by our people are not aware, right? Meaning we don't use it in the way we want to use it. We could use it better. So let's say you have published paper in Singapore, NTU, and Europe and US, but it's all there. You can submit for EB1 directly through an immigrant visa.
Okay, sir.
So the Nobel Prize winners, Olympic athletes, but doesn't mean that you have to be a Nobel laureate all the time, right?
Okay, sir.
Doesn't mean that you have to be an Olympic medal winner all the time. But there is an opportunity for them to submit papers and see whether they recognize you as an exceptional talent, even artist also. And then they award that directly, you might get a green card. This is depending on how you support the document. Find a EB1 lawyer, and you can tell these are my research papers, these are the things. That's a possibility. There's no specific thing called sports quota for any engineering or master's admission. But this is a different path I'm talking, right? EB1 is a different thing. The second question you asked was
medical college. How's your
USMLE? USMLE is the most toughest exam to crack. Medical college on the Indian MBBS students, right? Or all, not everybody can get in. Like not everybody can clear USMLE. It's called United States Medical Licensing Examination, USMLE, right? Not everybody can clear, and those people though clear those exams, they will take 7 years, 8 years to finish that master's residency before they can earn like an engineer. Masters in analytics படிக்கிறவங்க 9 months 100,000 வாங்கி போடுவோம். Imagine this. USMLE படிக்கிறவங்க after 6 years their internship salary will be $60,000. I'm not degrading. They are the people who save their lives. They're the people who pioneer. But that passion has to be there for medical degree. That is why people go down this path, UK path. If you see, most of our outflow from India would be to UK, then US. But US is pretty hard to crack. From UK, people after they have experience or something, they will USMLE. Australia, New Zealand, they'll try to apply for USMLE and then try to clear, and they'll become a world-renowned doctors and everything, right? And there is a last thing you asked was whether the consulate supports. They'll always come and publish, irrespective of technical degree, non-technical. There is a junior research fellow, JRF is there. There is a exchange, students exchange visa is there, research exchange. We have to just go through that and research. But once you apply, Jason, I'll bet you on this again. You pick 5 universities that you are in which subject you are teaching? You are in.
No, he can't answer. I mute him actually.
Okay.
You have to
Okay.
Yeah, you have to be a little bit brief because quite a number of them are asking questions both in the chat box.
Jason, what I would tell is, and close it important because it might answer other people's doubt also.
I will do one thing. I will unmute him. He can clarify if you want further. So people are asking your email IDs. Before I do that, can you just put it in the chat box? Quite a number of them have asked actually.
No, the best option is to connect with me in LinkedIn if I can support. Email, it might go into some filters, but I'm doing that. But Jason, what I will tell is, whatever subject you are in, just research for institution, reach out the professors there, and they will give you some opportunities to, come and do some research for them or something. The way you position is going to be important for you.
I'll connect Jason with you later when the show is over.
Yes.
Over to SK Pillai, please. And people who have sent me in the chat box, please raise your hand. Suresh, please do that so that you can directly ask questions. Please. He has now sent this email ID, cecilsundar@gmail.com. Simple, cecilsundar@gmail.com. Yeah, go ahead, process.
LinkedIn LinkedIn professional.
Beautiful. Yeah. Dr. SK Pillai, please go on.
See, the latest education policy, India has come out new education policy to cope up with the advanced countries like US. One aspect. For example, in Kanpur IIT, they started biology engineering. The similar course was there in MIT in US before 10 or 15 years. Whereas students who took that biology engineering, they did not continue. After first year, second year, they changed to different branch, aerospace or electrical or something. So they are forced to close that course. So I don't know how we cope up with the advanced courses in India.
No, so first of all, there are only IITs are the flagship for India. That itself is irony, right? We have to expand this research and R&D capabilities across the states, and different NITs have been established. So these are all good things, but still we are pocketed in that is the pain I have. The second thing is when you start an innovative courses like that, leading courses, the students will look for after graduation opportunity, right, sir? So when you're asking a student to do a biotech or bioengineering, where is your demand? Like which industry you can place them? Or is there a proper guidance, as a global biotech sector, like you can go as an R&D scientist or somewhere. They should, like IITs have established the engineering path, masters towards US. If they had done a pilot or have a collaboration or MOU, right? This all comes down to MOUs, collaboration, and the path that a student can pursue abroad. If they have figured it out, they are very smart people. They should have figured it out. But then students eventually, even more smarter than them, after 1 or 2 semesters, they'll know, okay, there is no opportunity for me to monetize, right? So that is where we need to balance that our ambition to be world class versus how we can generate opportunities locally or push them towards as a global innovation market side. That is how I would think it can be better off.
Thank you. Now, can we move on to Dr. Niranjan, please? Niranjan, please ask a question. Unmute and ask.
Sir, we've been talking about PG since more time. Do you have any advice for students going to US for undergraduates through the SAT?
Through SAT, yeah. If you are rich, you should come, right? The undergrad is not heavily funded. Who asked the question is Niranjan?
Yes, Niranjan, and also quite others also asked me in the chat box the same question. What are the scope for undergraduate students?
I have my own very close friends, sons and daughters have come for undergrad, but they are funded by themselves. Personally, if you ask me, again, no bias against anything, undergrad is not funded, federally funded the way master's programs are, because master's programs are, I told, private, public participation, government funding, scholarship, everything is there. Undergrad generally is not funded the way. So if you have the ability to spend $50,000 a year, right? Let's say give or take 200,000 minimum, $200,000 meaning 1.6 crores. You will get admission. You can, right? But don't expect scholarship or anything like that. That would offset this thing. Most of these undergrads, they work on campus to offset some of the boarding and lodging fees, but it is super expensive in my mind. Niranjan, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah, we move on to my friend's daughter, Nikita. Nikita, I told your mom that you should join today. Thank you for joining. Ask a question.
Hello, sir. This is Nikita. I'm in my 9th standard. The people who always meet ask this question. If 9th one, what is your which group are you going to proceed with, and all those things. I get there is a lot of pressure is put on me which course I'm going to proceed in my future, and my doubt is that which is the best group which I could select, which has opportunities in my future.
Right. And I can answer it very straight. It's got to be math and computers, math, science, and computer science. The world will be full of statistics, math, computer science, and everything. So without any doubt in your mind, Nikita, you can change the world. You can have a different passion. You can go to an NGO and all those things. But once you have a good career path, you can do all the other stuffs. Without any doubt, I can point you in that direction.
Thank you so much.
All the best, Nikita. And we can only take 2 more questions. We are running short of time. And who is this iPhone? Better that next time when you join, you please come with your name. Now I'm allowing you to speak. Unmute and talk.
Hello, I am Suresh, Asian Publications.
Jai Suresh, நீ உன் பேரை கூட போடாம என்ன
இல்ல phone வேற வாங்குனேனா பேரு போடல. Anyway, no problem.
Okay.
Sir, Mr. Manoj, my son studied undergraduate in Chennai, and 2016 he went to US for higher studies, and he did MS Masters in Electrical Engineering. 2016-17 இது படிச்சாரு. அப்புறம் he is not interested in coding. அதனால ஒரு சில ஜாப் ஆப்ஸ் கிடைச்சா கூட அதுல போகல. He wanted in core. So he came back in 2018. அதுக்கப்புறம் இங்க சின்ன சின்ன கம்பெனிஸ்ல ஒர்க் பண்ணாரு. Then during the COVID time, he went for a short course in digital marketing. So now he was last year he was working in some companies as a digital marketer, and he started as a freelancing teaching. Last year we started an institute in digital marketing, but it is not going much well. இப்ப திரும்ப ஏதாவது ஜாப் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ் அதான் இருக்குமா யூஎஸ்ல கனடால ஏதாவது ட்ரை பண்ணலாமா அப்படின்னு பார்த்துருக்கோம். That is my question.
For name மறந்துட்டேன் நான்.
I am Suresh.
This will be just an unfortunate thing that he went back maybe during that recession time or whatever happened.
Yes.
That is where the network comes into play, right? It will be very this was a very interesting scenario. He did masters in electrical engineering and he has to get back, but he found a different passion of the digital marketing that is also a very upcoming and high growth field. The challenge again in India is there are so many digital marketing companies, and then you can't compete on the cost and all those stuff. But again, the network funding, then what you can do is you can also provide services to companies in North America if you have the network. And because he is an entrepreneur, there's one more visa I forgot to tell. This is E5 or visa irukku. That is, think about it. It's like if you targeted location in US, if you can invest $500,000 or something like that, you get E5. But I would assume that he may not be in a position to do that. But through networking, he can try and get some business from North America, generate revenue. Or through B1, B2, he can come here and also collaborate. Maybe we can connect and see what the options are. I'm willing to guide him.
Okay. Well, definitely will meet you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think, yes, we can take only one question because a few others have also asked. Sugash, please make it fast, unmute and ask. It's well past 10:30.
Yes.
11:30. Yeah. It's midnight there. Remember. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm planning to do my postdoctoral in US, and thinking whether there's a way to apply it or to get into a university that is easy, or is it very hard to get there, or are there different kinds of requirements to pursue postdoctoral studies there at US?
So you already have a PhD. That means
yet to get my PhD, and my viva will be like very soon.
In the subject, what subject you are finishing? What
English literature. English literature. But
every
focus is political literature.
So I don't think it is hard. You would get admission. You just have to pick the right institutions based on your PhD thesis and what areas. If it is a comparative study, or it is something that you're doing unique, or even about translation. I don't know exactly how it shapes up, but you should be able to reach out to top institutions. The one thing I want everybody to take away is don't hesitate to ask for help. Go to the university website, write to that professor department. They will have the professor's email, contact numbers, admission, everything. Go for 10 universities பண்ணுங்க, ஒரு மந்த்துக்கு 10 universities பண்ணுங்க. You eventually you would find it is so easy. We just don't know. The problem with us is we are not aware of these things are very easy. And then sometime they might do an exchange scholarship, right? Sometimes you can come in and do as a J1 research student exchange, a research scholar exchange. You can come and work here. All you have to convince them is, hey, I am here. I'm looking forward to doing a research in this developing field that you're working, and I will be a great candidate, and be confident about it. You will land here. இங்க வந்துட்டீங்கன்னா you'll understand how to manage it. It's easy. right? Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. My friend Bobby from Bangalore. Yes, Bobby, go ahead, ask.
Sir, I am from Andhra Pradesh. I am an Andhra
Sorry,
Pradesh.
sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be the last question. Yes.
Thank you very much for sharing so much of information. Actually, in recent days, we are hearing about the sustainability, masters in sustainability, and that too from US in a large numbers. What will be the scope for the sustainability courses in US and across the globe?
Sustainability as a concept is a huge concept.
Yes.
Green energy, green building, sustainability. These are all so the mission to zero. Most of the companies are targeting, even bitcoins and cryptos. Everybody is driving towards sustainability, green energy. Huge opportunity. If you ask me, the opportunity is huge. Where you will come is the research I'm asking everybody to do. And see, whatever US does, the rest of the world follows. We should not have shame, and we can keep telling we have all the things, ideas, and all the systems in place and everything, but the world doesn't move without US. Let's be factual about it, right? The facts are that the currency is the standard. We can talk about any currency trying to replace here and there. These are all a noise. This will all go away, right?
Yes.
So if the innovation happens in US and rest of the countries adapt to it. That's a fact. Next 50 years, this will be the fact. So what you can tell is, if you think about sustainability, which universities are big in sustainability? And if you're already working on a paper, if you're already working on something, you can present it and then get exchange or research scholarship or even an admission there. Huge market, right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bobby. Sorry for the goof of Andhra to Karnataka. Coming back to this day was so memorable because after so many months we touched that 100 and many could not join, and many have sent their questions in the chat box. I only request you you to either write to. I will coordinate. Yes. See, you people, most of you might have come through my WhatsApp and messages or Facebook. Send it to me. I'll take the responsibility. I'll send it to Manoj. I know that even my good friend, close friend Jitendra is also has sent something last time, waiting for Manoj to reply. I'll get it done for all of you. Manoj is a busy person, but nevertheless, he has
over the
committed
weekend,
that.
I'll see if I can answer any relevant.
Yes. So,
whatever ask, how are we going to take your these events to rural and semi-urban places? Because I genuinely think the questions I have today is not because there's no opportunity here. The awareness is not there. And the awareness நமக்கு சீக்கிரம் கொண்டு வந்துடலாம் இந்த மாதிரி program.
Yeah, yes. Today, if you see, most of them have come from different parts. It's not that people from big cities like Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore. There are many of them from different parts of the states have come.
Yes.
But anyway, we will work it out with some institutions where we can directly reach out to the institution on Zoom and talk to them. We'll do that. Once again, I thank the organizers of Chennai Book Club, my good friends Kiruba, Joyce, and Prem for coordinating these efforts. Of course, our all-time friends like Ilongo were joined today to support me. Every one of you, immensely thank you more than anybody. On a Saturday night, I have spent at least 4 times. I've been to his place. I know how Saturday night would be a party time for him.
Sunday morning. Sunday
yes,
morning.
now it's Sunday morning. Now it's Sunday morning, of course. So it's a great time, and I thank him immensely from the bottom of my heart. And I know that
pleasure and privilege. It's my pleasure and privilege.
So we will come with a similar topic for the next month. And if you have any questions, please send it to us. Thank you very much. Wish you all a very great Sunday, my friends. Thank you very much.